Welcome to Turning Inward with Dr. Vivian Carrasco. Our intention today is to open your heart and nurture your spirit as you travel on the road without miles, moving inward on your epic and personal journey of self-discovery. I am Rebecca Polvey, your co-host, and I'm here with Dr. Vivian Carrasco. And this is our third episode of our fall 2014 season. And we are excited to continue to share the segments of Love.Being.Human with you and grateful that you are here with us. Today, I'm going to interview Dr. Carrasco and delve a little deeper into the topic of breath.
This podcast offers you the opportunity to explore new perspectives through compelling interviews with beautiful human beings and words of wisdom and love. This show was created to guide and inspire you. If you're looking for more meaning in your day-to-day life, if you're looking to be wowed by everyday people, if you're on a journey to joy, peace of mind, freedom, or a wild new adventure, then honey, you are in the right place. Welcome to Turning Inward with Dr. Vivian.
Well, Vivian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Rebecca.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I thought that the real simple way to start off today would just kind of ask you like a question, like I'm sure people are wondering, how does breath, I know I was curious about it when you mentioned it. How does breath fit into the Love.Being.Human process?
I'm always interested in what I say because I never know what I'm going to say before I say it. So I love talking to you about it because it becomes clearer the more that it's languaged, the more that it's voiced. But Love Being Human is all about simple daily practices that are within our reach because everything is within us. Just like a flower knows in its seed that it's going to become a flower, our human potential is within us from birth. And so we just have to give birth to it. And I think that the basis of Love Being Human is a harmony, an integration of our systems. And so of our body, of our mind, of our spirit. And it all flows through in between us, inside of each other, and between each other. So, the connection that we feel to ourselves and to the world. But the basis of that is in the breath. And the breath is how we, bringing attention to our breath is how we align our movement with inspired action. And just the attention, the focus of the type of breath that we have at the moment, actually opens us up. Like just then I felt this instinct to breathe deeply, that just happened. So when we can bring our attention to our breath, when we can pause, then our action becomes more inspired. And I've said this before, I think I've said this before, but if not, I'll say it here. The only thing we truly own is our action. And the freedom, we can expand our freedom by pausing and by responding in our highest ability to what's put in front of us, or what story we're creating, or what response we're giving. So our responsibility, just like everything, is really within the reach of our own creation. It's like we're modeling our own, we're molding our own clay. So the breath of the body is the foundation of Love Being Human, because we are human. It is our humanity. We breathe ourselves into life, and then we take our last breath. But as we move in that breath, we can sort of align with that action that is the most inspired, the action of our higher self or our best self, and connect with it. So that's how breath and love being human connect, because they balance between, a focused and a relaxed effort. And breath also reminds us, you don't miss your breath until you're not breathing. so, so it's always there for us. It's always there for us to bring our attention to, just like the beat of our heart. Everything is within us to bring out. And when we bring out what is within us, then there's a harmony to our lives and a symphony to our efforts. So the breath brings us clarity, and it brings us a discernment in our choices. And that's what Love Being Human's all about, is paying attention to the patterns of our actions and evolving them, emerging them, giving birth and rebirth to them, so that they move into an intentional, a responsible response. And not that autopilot or knee-jerk kinds of reactions that happen when we're not in harmony with our breath, when we're anxious or when we're angry. So Love Being Human is how we embrace our life and how we open our heart, and we begin and we end with the breath.
Well, I just, it was so interesting when you told me we were going to be talking about breath, and I thought, oh, breath. Well, I don't really think about it, so I thought, well, I'm going to sit down and just kind of consider how that might impact us. And I guess I was thinking how it just naturally impacts us on a lot of levels. And every time we take a breath, it's like a natural, necessary part of our life. And I think that it's kind of interesting that the first word that popped into my head is like part of, to describe how breath is, because every breath we take is energizing all the vital functions in our bodies. And then we kind of react, I think, to the quality of the breathing, or at least that was how it came to me, because how many people think about breathing? And I think that if we are relaxed and kind of in a positive way, then it's going to be more efficient breathing. And then if we're not, and we're upset, then we're going to be impacted in more of a negative way. And so I guess I am, like you say, who really thinks about it unless you pause and consider. And I like the fact that we can, if we're not doing it, we can select to pause and think, whether it's small things or large things. And so I like hearing that that's part of the Love Being Human process. That really makes sense to me.
Well, and I have a quote that I'll share, and then we can talk a little bit about it. It's from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she's one of my favorite teachers. She says, mankind's greatest gift, also its greatest curse, is that we have free choice. We can make our choices build from love or from fear. And you said something that really triggered me just now. You said the quality of our breath. And that's exactly true. It's not the quantity of our breaths, the length of our life, but it's the quality of our breath. The flow, the ease, the movement, and how we move through the world with our breath.
Oh, I agree. Oh, that's so true. That you make me think of something, that there's something I do when I get up in the morning. I think I've shared this with you before, is that I select my attitude when I get up in the day. And it's just something I've been doing for a lot of years. And it doesn't mean, I select that I'm going to have a good day, be positive, and make wise decisions, and pause and reflect. And, it might not turn out that way, but at least when I get up in the morning, I select that that's how I'd like my day to be. And I think that's part of also the breathing experience, that it's, I'm selecting that I'm going to have a quality day.
Yeah, and the way you do anything is the way you do everything, I've heard said. I think that what that offers you is a sort of a gentle entry into the world and into your day. And I
Mm-hmm.
think what I see is so many people don't offer themselves that. They don't offer themselves that kindness and that opportunity. You know, that expectation that this day is new and it's a beginning. And you intend for it to be, beautiful in whatever way it ends up. It's beautiful. And the breath and the breathing, our breathing, allows us to move easier through that day, whether or not it meets our expectations or fulfills our intentions. So I love that you do that. I wish more people would do that. And you know that I have kind of, I don't know what call it was on, but I shared my practices with you, and my favorite is at the end of the day is just to give, thanks, and to, really pick out the awe-inspiring, the breathtaking moments of the day. And I've journaled for a lot of years, but I've really journaled consistently for, I guess, the last 18 months or so. And it's interesting and also hugs me in a way that the things that I write down are never those $1,000,000 moments. They're never that, graduation or that defense dissertation after years of work and toil. Over the last 18 months, there have been some beautiful sort of, stage kinds of things. But in general, I'd say 98% of the things that really just, sort of flip the switch for me are magical moments that are usually ignored or passed by without attention. The forming of the clouds, for me, I just don't know, but I don't know if it's a vice or if it's what it is, but the last thing I think that I would ever have to give up is caffeine. Maybe I'll switch to tea, but that first drink of coffee,
Maybe decaffeinated tea.
oh, I can't even think about it, but coffee is probably my last vice, and I'm holding on to it so dearly and tenderly. I'll tell you that I have found research that says caffeine is good for you, so.
Oh, good. I'm a
Until
caffeine.
someone
I'm a
rebukes
coffee
me.
drink.
Oh,
Oh,
that
well,
first sip of
Vivian,
coffee.
I'm so excited to be on this journey of love being human with you. I just feel like I've been involved in this process just through my own natural drive. Like this selecting my attitude when I get up in the day. And I think sometimes it's the small changes. It doesn't have to be big. I think you were saying something like that. And I do feel like your love being human system, it's like the law of attraction that others are going to be drawn into taking this journey. And every time we have a conversation, I know we had one about compassion last week, and and this week, it just kind of plants another seed, and it causes me to pause and reflect. I just think that's important that we take the time to do that, even if it's just some small decision that we make, just some little small step. The
Yeah, I
seed
agree
gets
with you. I
planted.
agree with you. And I think just like that, gentle touch, then it's also very near. It's nearer than near. That I think for a lot of people and for me for a long time, I thought that that thing was over there and far away. That magic, not pill, but that experience that would change everything. And it is within and near us all the time. And we just have to sort of call it up. And for some reason I'm thinking of the story of, I have a couple of degrees and I worked really hard for those, because of my life situation and my past history. I think I told the story to someone once that when I was a teenager, I thought college was a location. I thought it was an actual city. And so when I said I was going to college, I was literally going to look on a map and find where this college was and go there. So over the years, my experience of higher education has definitely opened up. But when I got that first degree, I thought something was going to change after I crossed the stage. And so I went for another one. And as I was graduating my graduate degree, I thought, that didn't do it either. And thank goodness, 3 times the charm. But I wrote the words at the dedication for my doctorate degree, and I remember forming them and saying, I'm walking across this stage, but I'm actually turning towards you. And I was talking about all those people that had been along with me in the journey, and how that was not, a commencement is not an ending. It's actually the beginning of something else. And so I'm grateful that allowed me to just breathe in that experience, not to have an expectation of something happening outside of me because of it. And I think the most beautiful shifts in my life have sort of turned out that way. I thought that I needed to get something, go somewhere, or be someone, when it was always right there with me. And that's the same way I feel about, this initial entry, this gentle beginning of Love Being Human, being within the breath. Because, like you said, if you're not, gently going into it, with sort of a deep movement, allowing the best to happen, then, you're sort of shrinking your possibilities.
Well, Vivian, thank you very much, and we thank everyone else for being with us here today. And if you enjoyed the conversation, we invite you to connect with us by joining our inner circle at viviancarrasco.com. And I'd like to close with a quote from Vivian. Remember, move with purpose and take inspired action.
Thank you for joining us today here on Turning Inward with Dr. Vivian. If the show moved the needle for you, please leave an honest review in iTunes. And also make sure you cruise on over to viviancarrasco.com and join us for personal strategies and tips to help you move forward. Ciao, baby.